Right now, the sun is doing what it always does. Burning, radiating, holding everything together with nothing but gravity and sheer cosmic arrogance. And you're down here, going about your day, completely unaware that the only thing standing between you and the most catastrophic death imaginable is a 4.6 billion-year-old ball of nuclear fire that you've never once stopped to appreciate. But let's change that. What if it disappeared? Right now, this second. Not slowly, not dramatically, just gone. Erased from existence like it never happened. What happens to Earth? What happens to us? What happens to everything? Buckle up, because this gets dark fast. Literally.
Here's the first thing that'll genuinely disturb you. You wouldn't know for 8 minutes and 20 seconds. That's how long it takes light to travel from the sun to Earth. So the moment it vanishes, you're still standing in sunlight, still warm, still completely oblivious, watering your plants, scrolling your phone, living your life. For 8 minutes and 20 seconds, you exist in a reality that has already ended. You just don't know it yet. Think about that for a second. The sun is already gone, and you're smiling. And then the light stops. Not dims, not fades, stops. Instantaneous, total, absolute darkness. Not the darkness you're used to. Street lights, phone screens, the glow from a TV in another room. Real darkness, ancient darkness. The kind humans haven't experienced since before fire existed. The stars would be stunning though. Full visibility, no solar glare, the most breathtaking view of the cosmos in human history. Right at the moment human history ends. The universe has a brutal sense of timing.
Within 1 week, surface temperature drops to 0 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 18 Celsius. That's not uncomfortable, that's infrastructure collapse. Frozen pipes, failed power grids, governments with absolutely no plan because nobody planned for this. Within a year, minus 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Eventually, the surface of Earth settles at around minus 400 degrees Fahrenheit. At that temperature, the atmosphere itself begins to freeze. Nitrogen, oxygen, the actual air you breathe, crystallizing and snowing down onto the surface. The oceans freeze from the top down, which creates one genuinely unsettling twist. The ice acts as insulation over the liquid water beneath. Deep ocean environments near hydrothermal vents could remain warm enough to sustain life for potentially millions of years after the surface becomes uninhabitable. So the blind shrimp living near underwater volcanoes, they'll be fine. They'll outlive every city, every civilization, every human being who ever existed. As always, the weird ones survive. Here's the uncomfortable truth. A small number of humans could technically survive. Not well, not happily, but technically. Geothermal energy becomes humanity's lifeline overnight. Heat from inside the Earth itself suddenly becomes the difference between extinction and survival. Underground communities built around geothermal vents and nuclear reactors, growing food under artificial light, rationing everything. Humanity retreating underground like the deep-sea creatures we always look down on. It wouldn't be civilization as we know it. It would be something closer to managed extinction. A small flame of humanity kept alive in the dark on a planet that is actively trying to kill everything on its surface. And here's what nobody talks about. The psychological weight of a sunless world would be its own catastrophe. No dawn, no seasons, no natural light ever again. Just artificial brightness in underground tunnels while the surface above turns into something from a nightmare. Some things are worse than dying quickly.
The sun doesn't just give us light and heat, it gives us gravity, the gravitational anchor that keeps every single planet in this solar system locked in its orbital path. Remove it, and we don't spiral inward, we don't collapse, we just go straight. Earth shoots off into interstellar space in whatever direction it happened to be moving the moment the sun vanished. No orbit, no destination, just a frozen, dark, dead rock hurtling through the void at 67,000 miles per hour with nowhere to go. And the nearest star system, Proxima Centauri, 4.2 light-years away, would take over 43,000 years to reach at our current speed. 43,000 years of drifting through absolute nothing, a frozen, orphaned planet. No star, no warmth, no destination, just the void in every direction, forever. That's not a poetic description, that's literally what would happen. Here's what this scenario actually reveals, and it's more unsettling than the scenario itself. Every single thing you have ever known or loved or experienced exists because of one medium-sized star that happened to form in the right place at the right time with the right conditions. Remove it, and in less than a year, the surface of Earth is uninhabitable. In a few thousand years, unrecognizable. In a few million years, indistinguishable from any other frozen rock drifting through the dark. Every civilization, every piece of music ever written, every war ever fought, every moment of joy or grief or love any human being has ever experienced, all of it contingent on one star not disappearing.
The sun is still there. For now. It'll be there for another 5 billion years, give or take, so you can exhale. But maybe look at it differently next time you see it. Not as a given, not as background scenery, but as the single most important object in the observable universe as far as you're concerned. The thing everything depends on. The thing you never think about. This has been Obscurion. If that made you feel small, good. That means you're paying attention. Subscribe. New video every week. And remember, the universe doesn't care about us, but we can still dare to look further.